If God is for us, who is against us? He who did not withhold his own son, but gave him up for all of us.
For the people, ultimately, governments have two prime responsibilities: the safety and the prosperity of their people. And your Prime Minister and his government is very focused on those two priorities. We did talk about tourism because obviously it's a significant part of your economy, and we pledged we were going to go back and reevaluate the travel advisories as they currently stand to ensure that they do reflect the reality of the new numbers and what the numbers show, because you've made very impressive progress in your general numbers overall when it comes to the murder rate and so forth. But in particular, those travel advisories are designed to American travelers. And I think we need to analyze that and just ensure that the status we're currently in accurately reflects the status quo and takes into account the progress you've already made this year and made last year, year over year, which I think is one of the highest numbers in terms of reductions that we've seen of any country in the region. We have to talk about security, and I think that the Prime Minister has phrased it in a way that I think is very beneficial, and that is, he used the term global war on gangs. Maybe we'll find some other phraseology in the United States to describe it, but we're talking about the same problem. It's amazing if you look across the region and really many parts of the world, how many of the threats we face in the world now that once came from a ideological terrorist organization or from a nation state are now coming from non-governmental criminal organizations who in some cases are more powerful than the governments in some of these countries. And we've confronted this issue. It's a challenge in Mexico. It's a challenge on the border between Venezuela and Colombia. It is the challenge in Haiti. And it's been a challenge here. And it's a multifaceted challenge. They are transnational for a number of reasons. One, as an example, is, and we've acknowledged this, in our conversations that lead back to my time in the United States Senate, how many of the guns and the weapons that are being used by gangs to commit acts of violence here in Jamaica are purchased in the United States and then shipped here. And we want to commit to doing more to stopping that flow at the same time as we do more to commit to increasing your capacity. That's the other thing I underline. What we're talking about here when we talk about American assistance is America helping Jamaica build its own capacity, its own ability to confront these challenges and solve these problems. Because security is a baseline for everything. And to that end, we have some good things to announce today here. We've the Jolt Fusion Center that is starting up again, and that's been even further strengthened. That's going to help address lottery scamming. We can announce this synthetics detection equipment for Jamaica's forensic labs. Another counter-gang recruitment program that we seek to launch as a result of our visit here today. And announce something that I think is really important, and that is software, intelligence software for the law enforcement here in Jamaica to combat gangs, things like night vision goggles as well, technology, and we look to do more. And the United States is not getting out of the aid business. We are going to be providing foreign aid. The difference is we want to provide foreign aid in a way that is strategically aligned with our foreign policy priorities and the priorities of our host countries and our nation states that we're partners with. In essence, how that would work, how it has worked in the past, is USAID or some other entity would come into a country and say, this is what we think you need. And then they go out and hire an NGO that maybe are the ones that convinced them that that's what you need, and they give them a bunch of money and they come into the country and they do things. Some of these programs are fine, they're nice things. Other times, not so much. Nonetheless, that's how it used to be. How we want it to be in the future is that our embassies are involved with the host government, our hosts, our partners, and we ask them, what are your needs? And we provide assistance geared towards the needs of the nation states that are hosting us and that we're partnering with. At the end, our partner in Jamaica, our partner all over the world, is the government. It's the host governments who have a clear vision for the future. And to the extent that our foreign aid can be helpful, it is in furtherance of what the people of your country have elected you to carry out. Here, there are a lot of things. We've just described some of them. What should our foreign aid be geared towards? It should be geared towards looking for opportunities to increase skills training, looking for opportunities to attract investment and business and trade. And looking obviously for opportunities to expand on your own domestic intelligence capabilities. We are going to have foreign aid that is aligned to our foreign policy, and our foreign policy is going to be aligned to our mutual shared interests with the partners that we have all over the world. And I can tell you, Jamaica is an incredible partner to the United States. It's very cooperative on a number of fronts, and we will continue to work together, and we're going to work closer than we've ever worked before. because we are now going to have U.S. programs for foreign aid that are going to be aligned with the vision that you've elected your leaders to carry out for your country, and that benefits us both. And so I thank you for the opportunity to visit with you here today and talk about these things. I'm excited that we're going to be able to follow up on a lot of them and show real progress. The message that I've wanted to send in my travels, I've had to travel a couple of other places, but I've been to the hemisphere now twice, is very simple, and that is that the United States wants to ensure that when countries are cooperative and work with us and partner with us and constantly seek ways to engage us, that leads to positive results and outcomes. It's not, you can call it rewarding, but what it really means is it has to be a mutually beneficial relationship. And we want countries in the world and we want countries in the region to identify being close to the United States as something that is beneficial and helpful to develop, helpful to grow, and frankly helpful so that one day many countries can serve, and I think Jamaica is already doing this, as a model of what other countries would seek to emulate, whether it's on security, on trade, on investment, on skills acquisition and improvement. These are the things that we want America's relationship with our partners to look like. And I can think of no better friend in the Caribbean and frankly in the Western Hemisphere than Jamaica and your government, Mr. Prime Minister. And so we thank you for this chance to visit with you so early. And as I joked a couple times, but I'll say it again, I think I told it to the cameras already, I wanted to come here early so when I come for the second and third time, they don't accuse me of only wanting to go to Jamaica. And it in many ways it really truly feels like home, and where I am in South Florida, and I thank you for your hospitality and this opportunity.
National issues. This morning, Comrade Mario has read a media article about Andrew Holness. And he said, in his usual arrogant way, I play chess. I don't play drafts. Now what he wants to say is that he is smarter than the average person. Well, I am going to show you now that not only is he not playing chess, the only thing he's playing is the fool, or he's playing the clown, because there is nothing in his performance that suggests that he's any chess player or strategist. Let me start with national security. For the last 3 months, violent crime, in particular murders, have been trending down. Now, bear in mind, the government has been in office for 9 years. That's 108 months. And out of the 108 months, they can only talk about 3 months. But why is those 3 months showing substantial reduction? Because the police are pursuing a strategy that the commissioner refers to as focused deterrence. This is not net fishing. This is spear fishing, targeting those who produce the most violence. This is what the PNP has been saying for the last 7 or 8 years. And Andrew Holness preferred to stand up at a podium and declare state of emergency after state of emergency, with his flanked by his generals like a wannabe tyrant. Like a wannabe tyrant. What was the result for the last 8 years? Murders increased 25% in this country. 2,300 more Jamaicans were murdered because of this foolish pursuit of Andrew Holness. The figures will show more Jamaicans have been murdered under his leadership than under any 2 terms in the history of Jamaica. This man should be hanging his head in shame. That is why I am saying he's not only playing the fool and playing the clown, but he has played with the lives of Jamaican people, and that is a shame and disgrace. And he must never be given a chance to go back to Jamaica House. For years, we have been begging him. Not only was the serial and routine use of states of emergency unconstitutional based on our advice by learned King's Council, but it was ineffective, totally ineffective. And it's not until the People's National Party stopped supporting the extensions in the Senate. It's not until we took them to court and others took them to court and start whittling away at that foolish pursuit that they have eventually abandoned it. And in the 2 years that they have abandoned it, the first year, murders came back down to the level that they inherited it. Not even below. You hear them talking about percentage. Percentage talking about coming down last year is like a man stab you with a 6-inch blade and him pull out back 2-inch. You're not going to thank him for that. This year, the first year, we're seeing real reductions, and it has nothing to do with Andrew Holness and the Labour Party. So that is one thing to show you that not only is not playing chess, he has played with the lives of Jamaicans, and they have lost 2,300 unnecessary lives under his leadership. The worst performance of any prime minister, not just in history, but I am prophesying in the history of this country for all times. The worst prime minister when it comes to crime.